Imagine a time when powerful women controlled the forces of nature, guided civilizations, and even shaped the fate of kings and empires. These were not mere stories or fables, but living forces whose wisdom and strength transcended generations. Did you know that these forgotten goddesses still hold immense significance today, whispering their ancient truths in the winds and the rivers, in the hearts of those who remember? These divine beings were once the bedrock of many African cultures, revered as embodiments of nature's power and balance. But who were these mighty women, and why have their stories been lost over time? What made them so powerful, and why are they still relevant to us in modern society? These questions take us deep into the heart of African spirituality, where the divine feminine has always held a sacred place. For these goddesses were not only creators of life, but protectors of balance, guardians of wisdom, and forces of nature that shaped civilizations. They were revered as the source of abundance, love, and power. Yet, as time marched on, their names faded into the background, overshadowed by new belief systems and foreign ideologies. Today, we embark on a journey into the mystical world of African deities, focusing on the powerful yet often forgotten goddesses who were once revered and are still worshipped in various cultures across the continent. These divine figures are more than just relics of the past. They are potent forces shaping spiritual practices and cultural identities even today. Their influence can be seen in everything from rituals and festivals to the very lives of the people who continue to honor them. These goddesses stand as timeless symbols of strength, wisdom, and resilience, reminding us of the deep connections between the divine and the natural world. Before we begin this sacred countdown, I want to ask something of you, not just as a viewer, but as a witness. As you listen, feel, don't just hear these names. Let them move through you, let them challenge you, and when it's over, come back to this moment and tell us, which of these gods still walks with you? Which one mirrors your own sense of justice? Whose storm, whose silence, whose fire speaks your truth? Subscribe not just to follow a channel, but to join a remembering. Like this video, not for numbers, but as a gesture, a digital libation poured to honor those divine forces who once kept our balance. And if something stirs in you as we speak their names, don't keep it to yourself. Share this with someone who still believes justice is older than courts, deeper than politics, and holier than law. Because these stories aren't dead. They're waiting for us to speak them again. Now, let the gods rise. Let the countdown begin. In African cultures, the divine feminine has always been a powerful and respected force. Unlike the more male-dominated pantheons of the West, African spiritual systems have long celebrated the sacred role of women as goddesses, protectors, and creators. These goddesses were not mere symbols, but active forces in the lives of the people, shaping their understanding of nature, life, and the cosmos. From the shores of West Africa to the heart of Southern Africa, these divine beings were seen as the bearers of life, wisdom, and harmony. They governed the forces of fertility, love, rain, and harvest, and their influence could be felt in every aspect of daily life, from the smallest personal rituals to the grandest ceremonies. The purpose of these goddesses was not only to be worshipped, but to be integrated into the very fabric of life. They were considered the architects of creation, the guides of communities, and the embodiments of natural forces. Through their presence, African people found meaning and purpose, understanding that their survival, their prosperity, and their well-being were all deeply connected to the divine feminine. Every village, every tribe had its own set of revered goddesses, each representing a different aspect of life and nature. These deities were often invoked in times of celebration, mourning and transition, offering guidance, protection, and blessings. They were the unseen forces that kept the world in balance, the lifeblood of society, connecting people to their ancestors and to the earth itself. Yet, despite their profound influence, these goddesses have been largely forgotten. The spread of colonization, modern-day religions, and foreign ideologies swept across the African continent, pushing aside the old ways of worship. Christianity and Islam, with their singular gods and male-dominated structures, took root and became the dominant forces in the region, leaving the once vibrant pantheons of African deities in the shadows. These goddesses, once honored with rituals, prayers, and festivals, faded into obscurity. Their stories were silenced, their names erased, and their places of worship abandoned. In this modern age, the divine feminine of Africa is often overlooked, seen as an ancient relic of a forgotten past, but their power is far from gone. These goddesses still reside in the spiritual consciousness of many African communities, awaiting rediscovery and recognition. The stories of their strength, wisdom, and beauty are not lost forever. They are simply waiting for us to remember. Oshun, the Yoruba goddess of love, fertility, rivers, and healing, stands as one of the most revered deities in African spirituality. Known for her beauty, compassion, and nurturing spirit, Oshun is considered the embodiment of love itself. She is often depicted as a radiant woman, draped in golden attire, symbolizing her connection to the river and the sun. As a goddess of fertility, Oshun is not only the bringer of new life, but also a protector of women, children, and the most sacred aspects of human relationships. In the Yoruba pantheon, she holds a vital role, balancing the forces of the universe with her grace and influence. Her domain stretches beyond just the realms of love and motherhood. Oshun's power is deeply tied to the rivers, the flowing waters that nourish the land and sustain life. As the goddess of the river, she is believed to control the flow of water, ensuring that the earth is fertile and bountiful. It is no coincidence that rivers, which are lifebloods of many African societies, are often seen as sacred places where Oshun's blessings can be felt. Her healing powers are profound, offering both physical and spiritual healing to those who call upon her. The waters of Oshun, revered as sacred, are said to have restorative properties, bringing peace, prosperity, and a renewed sense of vitality to those in need. Oshun's cultural influence in Yoruba society and beyond is immense. As one of the Orisha deities, the powerful spirit beings in Yoruba religion, she is worshipped not only in Nigeria, but also in the African diaspora, including the Americas and the Caribbean. Her followers, who call upon her for guidance and protection, see Oshun as a constant, loving presence in their lives. Her worship involves offerings of honey, gold, and fresh water, reflecting her sweetness and abundance. Festivals in her honor are colorful and joyous, celebrating the beauty of life, love, and fertility. One of the most powerful stories involving Oshun is her intervention to save humanity from famine. According to the myth, a great drought and famine threatened to wipe out life on Earth. The gods had been so consumed by their own disputes that they neglected the needs of the people. Oshun, seeing the suffering of humanity, stepped in to help. She used her powers over water to bring rain, thus saving the people from starvation. Her compassion and courage in this tale showcase not just her power, but her deep love for humanity. A love that transcends time and continues to resonate with her followers today. Mbaba Mwana Waresa, the Zulu goddess of rain and agriculture, is a vital figure in the spiritual life of the Zulu people. As the divine protector of farmers, she embodies the nurturing forces of nature, ensuring that the land flourishes and provides for all who depend on it. Revered as the goddess who controls the rains, Mbaba Mwana Waresa holds sway over the cycles of planting and harvest, making her an essential part of the agricultural and spiritual rhythms of life in many African communities. Her presence is felt not just during the rainy season, but throughout the entire agricultural cycle, from sowing to reaping. Her domain is one of abundance and fertility, ensuring that the earth yields its crops in times of need. Mbaba Mwana Waresa's control over rain links her directly to the prosperity of the land. In times of drought, she is called upon for her mercy and grace to bring water and life back to the parched earth. As the goddess of harvest, her influence is also felt at the end of the cycle, during the gathering of crops. It is said that when the crops flourish, it is a sign of her blessing, and the community celebrates in gratitude, thanking her for the fruits of the earth. She is a symbol of fertility in both the land and in life, ensuring that the earth remains rich and capable of providing for future generations. Mbaba Mwana Waresa holds great cultural significance in Zulu society, especially in agricultural communities. The well-being of the community, its prosperity, and its future are all tied to her favor. Her role in sustaining the balance between human beings and nature is not just about abundance. It is about harmony. In Zulu tradition, she is seen as a guardian of the environment, a divine force ensuring that the people live in respectful balance with the land they rely on. Her worship involves rituals and ceremonies that honor the earth's cycles, reinforcing the connection between the people and the natural world. One of the most enduring myths surrounding Mbaba Mwana Waresa is her teachings on agriculture. According to legend, she showed the people how to cultivate crops, not just for survival, but with respect for nature's rhythms. She taught them how to plant in harmony with the seasons, to honor the land, and to give thanks for the abundance it provided. Through her guidance, the people learned that true prosperity comes not from conquering nature, but from living in balance with it. This lesson in harmony continues to resonate in agricultural communities today, where Mbaba Mwana Waresa remains a symbol of sustenance, wisdom, and the enduring bond between humanity and the earth. Nana Buluku, the revered creator goddess of the Fan people, stands as one of the most significant deities in West African spirituality. She is recognized as the mother of all creation, the divine force from which the world and everything in it emerged. As one of the most important figures in the Fan pantheon, Nana Buluku is often portrayed as a powerful and nurturing mother who gave birth to the universe. Her role as a creator goddess goes beyond simply giving birth to the physical world. She is the embodiment of creation itself, the source of life, order, and balance. Nana Buluku's presence is felt not only in the stories of the Fan people, but throughout various spiritual traditions across West Africa. Her domain encompasses creation, motherhood, and the earth. As the goddess of creation, Nana Buluku is seen as the first being who brought the universe into existence. From her, all other gods and goddesses, and the very earth itself, were born. In many creation myths, she is the one who gave birth to the heavens, the earth, the sea, and all living creatures, and she continues to play a vital role in maintaining the balance of these elements. Nana Buluku's maternal essence ensures that life continues to flourish, as she is the ultimate protector and nurturer of all living things. As a mother, she not only births the world, but also ensures its prosperity through her care and protection. Nana Buluku's cultural influence stretches far beyond the Fan people, resonating in various West African spiritual traditions. Her importance in the creation myths of the Fan people is mirrored in other cultures across the region. where she is worshipped as the supreme deity and creator of the universe. In the broader context of West African spiritual beliefs, Nana Buluku is often associated with the foundational principles of life, from the physical world to the spiritual realm. Her influence is seen in rituals, ceremonies, and prayers, where she is honored as the source of all that exists. One of the most significant stories about Nana Buluku's role in creation tells of how she gave birth to the world. In the myth, she is said to have created the world through the power of her words and her will. From her, two primary divine forces were born: Mahu, the goddess of the moon, and Lisa, the god of the sun. Together, these two forces represent the duality of the world: light and darkness, day and night. Nana Buluku's creation story reflects not only her power to shape the physical world, but also her understanding of balance and harmony. She brought forth the gods and goddesses who would govern the elements, ensuring that all things had their rightful place in the grand design of life. Her relationship with the other gods highlights her role as the foundation of all creation, underscoring her central importance in West African cosmology. Mahu Lisa, a central figure in both the Dahomey and Fon traditions, is a dual-gender deity who represents the harmonious union of male and female forces in the creation of the universe. As a divine embodiment of cosmic balance, Mahu Lisa is the personification of duality: male and female, sun and moon, light and darkness, all existing together as one unified force. In these traditions, Mahu Lisa is considered the ultimate creator, the force behind the formation of the world and the cosmos. This dual nature of Mahu Lisa highlights the profound belief that creation cannot exist without balance between opposing forces, each complementing the other in perfect harmony. Mahu Lisa's powers span creation itself, as well as the regulation of the sun, moon, and cosmic balance. As the goddess of the moon, Mahu brings forth the lunar cycles, guiding the night, while Lisa, the god of the sun, governs the day, creating the rhythms of time that define the passage of life. Together, Mahu and Lisa hold dominion over all aspects of existence, ensuring that light and dark coexist in a harmonious cycle. Their influence extends to the very fabric of nature, determining the seasons, the growth of crops, and the ebb and flow of life itself. By controlling both the sun and the moon, Mahu Lisa creates a balance that regulates life, ensuring that nothing is out of order. In cultural terms, Mahu Lisa represents more than just a deity. They are a powerful symbol of balance and the cyclical nature of existence. The dual-gender nature of Mahu Lisa teaches that both masculine and feminine energies are equally essential for the creation and maintenance of life. This belief is deeply embedded in the spiritual and philosophical practices of the Fon and Dahomey people, where the unity of opposites is seen as necessary for prosperity and spiritual growth. In these societies, Mahu Lisa embodies the principle that life is not defined by one force or the other, but by the constant interplay of both, each working together to uphold the universe's intricate balance. The creation myth of Mahu and Lisa is a testament to the importance of this cosmic balance. According to legend, Mahu, the goddess of the moon, and Lisa, the god of the sun, were the first beings to emerge from Nana Buluku, the supreme creator goddess. Together they formed the earth and brought order to the universe. Mahu, with her calming presence, governed the night and the feminine forces, while Lisa ruled over the day and the masculine principles. Their divine cooperation ensured the earth would thrive in an eternal cycle of creation and renewal, where light and darkness, sun and moon, always found their proper place. Through their harmonious union, Mahu Lisa instilled a profound truth: that creation is sustained by the balance of opposites, each necessary and intertwined in the ongoing dance of life. In African cosmology, female deities have always played a central and revered role, regarded not only as protectors of the people, but also as the vital maintainers of life. These goddesses were seen as powerful figures who shaped the natural and spiritual worlds, embodying the life-giving forces of fertility, motherhood, and the very rhythms of the earth. From the most ancient African traditions to the modern-day worship practices, female deities were viewed as the guardians of fertility, the nurturers of the land, and the keepers of the community's well-being. Their divine influence extended far beyond religious rituals. These goddesses were seen as the very source of abundance, ensuring that life flourished in all its forms. The themes of life-giving and maternal power are central to the role of female deities in African spirituality. These goddesses were often linked to the earth and its ability to provide for its people. As symbols of fertility, they were believed to have the power to control the cycles of birth, growth, and renewal. Their connection to nature, particularly to the land, the rivers, and the sky, meant that they were seen as the embodiment of nature itself. In many African cultures, fertility was not just about reproduction, but was also a broader symbol of prosperity and harmony with the natural world. The act of creation and nurturing was sacred, and female deities were revered as the divine forces responsible for these acts. These goddesses helped shape the very structures of African societies, influencing social, political, and cultural norms. Their presence in rituals and ceremonies reinforced the community's connection to the natural world and the divine. Female deities were often called upon in times of need, whether for fertility, harvests, healing, or protection. In many African cultures, the role of women as spiritual leaders and priestesses was also directly tied to the worship of these goddesses. The rituals performed in their honor, often centered on life cycles such as birth, marriage, and death, were a reflection of the importance placed on the feminine in both the physical and spiritual realms. The cultural importance of female deities went beyond religious practice. They helped establish a sense of order and balance within African communities, teaching the values of respect for nature, the importance of community, and the sacredness of life. In the myths and legends surrounding these goddesses, there were often lessons of resilience, wisdom, and strength. These goddesses were not passive beings but active participants in the creation and maintenance of the world, instilling values that resonated deeply within the societal structures of African communities. Through their stories, African cultures passed down teachings on the power of women, the interconnectedness of life, and the enduring influence of the divine feminine. Aje, the Yoruba goddess of wealth and prosperity, holds a revered place in the rich spiritual tapestry of the Yoruba people. Known as the goddess of abundance, Aje is seen as the divine force that governs wealth, success, and material well-being. Her influence is not only confined to the accumulation of riches, but extends to all forms of abundance, from the flourishing of crops to the prosperity of individuals and communities. As a goddess of prosperity, Aje is honored by those seeking to increase their fortunes, whether through business ventures, agriculture, or personal growth. In Yoruba cosmology, Aje is considered the source of all wealth and material success, making her a powerful and sought-after figure in rituals and prayers. Her domain encompasses more than just monetary wealth. Aje is also associated with the abundance of nature and the life-sustaining resources that enable individuals and societies to thrive. She is often depicted with symbols of wealth, such as gold and grains, reflecting her power over both material and spiritual prosperity. The Yoruba believe that Aje has the ability to bless individuals with the resources they need to succeed, ensuring that those who honor her are granted prosperity in their endeavors. Her influence extends to all aspects of life, including health, love, and personal achievements, making her a holistic force of abundance. In Yoruba society, Aje's role is integral to the community's understanding of material prosperity. As a goddess of wealth, Aje is often invoked in rituals by traders, farmers, and families seeking to improve their financial standing. Her blessings are thought to enhance both individual and collective prosperity, ensuring that communities are well supported and capable of flourishing. Festivals dedicated to Aje involve offerings of food, drink, and prayers for success, with the belief that Aje's favor can open doors to wealth and stability. In this way, she is not only a symbol of personal gain, but also a divine force that upholds the well-being of entire communities. One of the most powerful stories surrounding Aje involves her ability to bring wealth to those who are deserving. According to Yoruba mythology, Aje's blessings could transform the lives of those who were willing to honor her through ritual offerings and sincere devotion. Aje was believed to intervene in moments of financial difficulty, guiding individuals and communities toward prosperity. Her power was seen as a force that could uplift people from poverty, bringing not only material wealth, but also spiritual fulfillment. This story underscores Aje's importance as both a goddess of wealth and a guiding force in achieving success, highlighting her central role in Yoruba culture and spiritual life. Yemoja, the Yoruba goddess of the Ogun River, is a revered figure in African spirituality, embodying the nurturing and protective qualities of motherhood. As the protector of mothers and children, Yemoja holds a special place in the hearts of the Yoruba people and beyond, particularly within the African diaspora. Known as the mother of all Orishas, the spiritual beings of the Yoruba pantheon, Yemoja is often seen as the source of all life. Her connection to the Ogun River, which is seen as a life-giving force, represents her dominion over the waters and her role in sustaining life. In her essence, Yemoja encompasses the qualities of fertility, protection, and healing, offering comfort and care to those who call upon her. Her powers and domain stretch across fertility, motherhood, and the oceans and rivers. Yemoja is closely associated with the seas and rivers, elements that are critical to both the physical and spiritual well-being of many African societies. As a goddess of fertility, she governs not only the birth of children, but also the abundance of crops and the prosperity of communities. Her power over the waters is believed to bring nourishment and renewal to the land, making her an essential figure in agricultural societies where water is key to survival. Yemoja's influence over motherhood extends beyond just the physical act of giving birth. She is seen as the protector and nurturer of families, guiding them through the trials of life. Yemoja's cultural influence is profound, particularly in African spiritual practices and throughout the African diaspora. As a central figure in Yoruba religion, she plays a pivotal role in rituals, ceremonies, and festivals dedicated to fertility, motherhood, and life. Her significance transcends borders, and she is widely worshipped in the Americas, particularly in Brazil, Cuba, and Trinidad, where she is honored as the protector of the people and a symbol of resilience. Her influence extends beyond religious practices, as her figure has become a symbol of maternal strength, femininity, and the deep connection between women and the natural world. One of the most powerful stories surrounding Yemoja involves her role in the Ogun River and her nurturing nature. According to Yoruba mythology, Yemoja created the Ogun River to sustain life and provide for her children. The river, with its life-giving waters, became a symbol of her protection and care. In one tale, the Ogun River was said to be in danger of drying up, which would have caused widespread famine. Yemoja, with her immense power, intervened to restore the river, ensuring that the land and its people would continue to thrive. This story underscores her role as a protector and provider, a goddess whose love and devotion to life transcend all barriers, offering her care to those who are vulnerable. In the grand tapestry of African mythology, countless goddesses have shaped the beliefs and practices of different communities. Yet, amidst the well-known figures like Oshun, Yemoja, and Mbaba Mwana Waresa, there are those whose stories remain largely untold. These lesser-known goddesses, though often overshadowed by more prominent deities, have left an indelible mark on the cultures and people who revere them. One such goddess is Ogunya, a powerful figure from the Akan people of West Africa. Her story may not be as widely recognized, but her influence still resonates within her community today. Ogunya, the goddess of transformation and rebirth, represents a force of renewal that goes beyond the conventional understanding of fertility and life. While the earth goddess in many cultures is seen as the ultimate nurturer of life, Ogunya holds dominion over change, growth, and the cycles of transformation. She is often associated with the concept of death not as an end, but as a necessary part of the eternal cycle of existence. It is through her influence that new life is created, but also that the old, the decayed, and the stagnant are swept away to make space for the new. Her power, often linked to the changing of seasons and the cyclical nature of the world, is deeply tied to the agricultural practices of the Akan people. Unlike the more commonly known goddesses who represent abundance and fertility in a direct sense, Ogunya's powers are more nuanced and subtle. Her domain is not merely one of creation, but of destruction, in the sense that destruction is the catalyst for transformation and renewal. Ogunya is invoked in times of great change, such as the harvest or the transition from one phase of life to another. When communities or individuals are undergoing significant personal or collective transformations, her presence is called upon to help them navigate these changes with grace and wisdom. The myths surrounding Ogunya are as complex as the goddess herself. One of the most famous tales tells of how she guided her people through a period of severe drought. The elders, knowing the riverbeds had dried up and the land was barren, sought Ogunya's guidance. As the goddess of transformation, she instructed them to clear the dead brush, plant new seeds, and prepare the land for a fresh cycle of life. The people, despite their doubts, followed her instructions, and soon enough, the rains returned, bringing with them abundant crops and a renewed sense of hope. The myth emphasizes that while Ogunya's power is not one of immediate gratification, her influence fosters long-term prosperity and sustainability. The land's fertility, in her eyes, could only return through a commitment to change and adaptation. Ogunya's cultural significance in the Akan community is profound, even if her story does not make it into the global spotlight as frequently as other goddesses. She is a symbol of resilience, teaching her followers that change, while often uncomfortable, is necessary for growth. Her influence extends to the lives of the Akan people, who understand that to truly thrive, one must embrace both the destruction of the old and the welcoming of the new. In times of hardship or transition, it is her energy that they invoke to help them through the cycles of life. Though Ogunya's name may not be widely known outside her cultural region, her power is felt deeply in the spiritual practices of her people, who honor her as a goddess of transformation. Her relatively underrepresented status in mainstream conversations about African deities speaks volumes about how the stories of certain goddesses have been marginalized over time. Yet her enduring relevance to those who remember her reminds us that African mythology is not a static or singular tradition, but a vibrant, evolving tapestry that holds space for a multitude of divine beings. It is these lesser-known goddesses like Ogunya who continue to shape the lives of many, guiding them through the twists and turns of life, and reminding them that transformation is a vital and sacred part of the human experience. In the broader context of African spiritual practices, the stories of these underrepresented goddesses are crucial to understanding the full depth and complexity of African cosmology. Their influence may not always be obvious, but their presence in the lives of their followers speaks to the power and wisdom of all the divine feminine forces that have shaped the continent's spiritual traditions. These lesser-known deities remind us that every culture, every community, and every belief system holds within it stories of powerful women who have shaped the world in ways both seen and unseen. It is time to remember them, not as forgotten figures, but as essential parts of the rich, living legacy of African spirituality. The legacy and influence of African goddesses continue to resonate powerfully in today's world, particularly within African communities and the global African diaspora. Though many of these goddesses have been overlooked by mainstream religious and cultural narratives, their worship and reverence have not only survived but thrived, particularly in places where African traditions have been preserved and adapted. From the Caribbean to South America, from Europe to North America, these goddesses are invoked in spiritual practices, festivals, and rituals, reminding us that their divine presence remains a vital force in contemporary life. Whether it's Oshun's embodiment of love and fertility, or Yemoja's role as the protector of mothers and children, these deities are still called upon for guidance, healing, and blessings in the modern world. In African diaspora communities, the worship of these goddesses has taken on new forms but remains grounded in the same spiritual roots. African spirituality, often intertwined with Christianity, Islam, and other religious systems, has seen the resurgence of interest in traditional African deities. In cities across the world, practitioners of the Orisha religion, Vodou, and other African-based spiritual systems still honor the ancient goddesses, celebrating their power, beauty, and wisdom. For instance, the Yoruba goddess Oshun is worshipped in the United States and Brazil, where she is invoked for prosperity, healing, and love. In Cuba, Yamoja is venerated as a mother goddess, nurturing not only individuals, but entire communities. These deities, though adapted to new cultural contexts, retain their original meanings and teachings, continuing to shape the spiritual lives of those who seek their guidance. The spiritual and cultural impact of these goddesses extends far beyond religious practice. Their stories continue to inspire artists, writers, and thinkers, influencing music, literature, and visual art. African goddesses symbolize not just divine power, but the strength of African identity, resilience, and the connection to the earth. These deities also serve as a source of empowerment, especially for women, in a world that continues to struggle with gender inequality. The lessons of nurturing, strength, fertility, and balance embodied by these goddesses offer a blueprint for a more harmonious and equitable society. Reflecting on the enduring relevance of these goddesses, we are reminded of the importance of the values they represent. Their teachings offer insights into how we can navigate the complexities of modern life. From Oshun's compassion to Yemoja's protection, these goddesses teach us that power is not just about dominance, but about nurturing, healing, and creating balance. In today's world, where environmental destruction, gender inequality, and spiritual disconnection are rampant, the values upheld by these deities are more relevant than ever. The feminine principles of care, resilience, and interconnectedness they embody have the potential to guide us toward a more compassionate and sustainable future. So what can we learn from these ancient deities? We can learn to honor the cycles of life, embrace the power of transformation, and recognize the sacredness of the earth and all its beings. These values, passed down through generations, have the power to shape our world today, offering a path to healing, justice, and balance. The stories of these goddesses are not just ancient myths, they are living teachings, waiting for us to carry them forward and make them our own. As we reflect on the powerful legacies of these African goddesses, we are reminded that their stories are far from forgotten. These divine figures, from Oshun to Yemoja, Mbaba Mwana Waresa to Nana Buluku, have shaped the spiritual landscapes of Africa and beyond, weaving a tapestry of wisdom, strength, and resilience. Their influence continues to thrive in the hearts of those who honor them, from the rituals of ancient communities to the spiritual practices of today's African diaspora. They stand as symbols of balance, fertility, love, and power, offering timeless lessons for a world that still grapples with the complexities of life, nature, and identity. Their stories remind us that the divine feminine is not just a relic of the past, but a powerful force that continues to guide and protect us. These goddesses teach us that true strength lies in nurturing, in balance, in the cycles of life that are ever present in nature. Their influence is not only spiritual but cultural, as their values continue to shape societal structures, inspire art, and empower individuals, particularly women, across the globe. As we continue to move forward, let us remember that the divine feminine has always been a source of guidance and inspiration. The goddesses of Africa are not just ancient figures but living forces that continue to impact our world today. Their teachings on love, resilience, fertility, and the sacredness of life offer a blueprint for healing, balance, and justice. Let their stories stir something in you, something ancient, something powerful, something that reminds us of the interconnectedness of all things. If these goddesses' wisdom has touched you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share these stories with someone who needs to hear them, for these divine beings are waiting for us to speak their names again. Together we can ensure their legacy endures, reminding ourselves that the divine feminine is not a distant memory, but a vibrant force that continues to shape our world.